One of the most popular 360 cameras in existence right now is the Insta360 One X2. I have one of them and I've used it a good bit. In fact, I'm using it to record the video you're watching right now. There's a lot to like about that camera, but there are a few very important things you should know before you go out and buy it. So when I received my camera, I was surprised to learn that it was partially charged already. So I inserted my memory card into it and I thought I would go and record some footage. Well, it turns out I wasn't able to, because a little message came up on the screen saying that it needed to be activated. Now, I don't know what this activation is. I don't understand why it's necessary. Obviously, in the software world, sometimes you have to activate software to prove you have a valid license, but in this case, it's a physical device, so I'm not sure what the point is. But to make matters worse, in order to activate it, I needed to install the mobile app. Now, I hadn't even planned to install a mobile app because, according to my research, this allows me to do a mobile workflow for editing videos, or I can do just a desktop computer workflow, and that's the one I chose. I don't like to edit video on my phone. I like to edit it on my computer. So I just assumed I wouldn't need to use the mobile app at all. But as it turns out, you need that app to be able to activate this camera before you can even use it one time. So I went on the Google Play Store thinking I would find the app and download it, but it wasn't there. So looking in the instructions, I found that I needed to go to the Insta360 website and download an APK file. So that meant I had to go to my security settings on my phone and tell it to allow installing apps outside the Play Store. That's a security setting. It's there for your safety, but I had to disable that to get that into install. But as it turns out, I downloaded the APK file and it wouldn't install. I have a Moto G5. Apparently it's not compatible. It's my best guess, because I could not install that app. First I thought maybe it was just corrupt, so I re-downloaded the APK file, tried to install it again, and got another error message. So finally, out of frustration, I decided to try my wife's phone. She has a little newer Samsung phone, and I was able to get the app installed on that and get it activated. So my point in all this is that you must have a compatible phone in order to use the Insta360 One X2. So in my opinion, it's a bad decision by the manufacturer to require this activation thing, especially if they're going to require that you have the app in order to do that. Because that is really the only reason you need an app for this camera. It has a touch screen, so you can access all the settings right from there. You can look at your footage on the touch screen if you want to, and you can download it straight to the computer and do your editing there. So it seems odd that they create a requirement that some people, depending on what phone they have, may not be able to meet. So definitely check before you buy this thing to be sure you have a compatible phone. Second thing you should know about this is that the microphones on this pick up sound very well. Now normally that's a plus, and it is. Only problem is it also picks up wind noise very easily. In fact, I like to go running with this camera, and even if there's no wind, just me running at a fairly, slow pace, it still records some wind noise, just me moving down the path while I'm running. And any kind of small breeze it'll pick up easily as well. Now, supposedly there was a firmware update that made this better, but it's still there. So I haven't found an easy way to adjust or remove that wind noise. It just seems like I can't completely get rid of it. I might also mention that in low light conditions, sometimes you get a little bit of graininess, but that usually doesn't show up until you upload to a platform like YouTube, for example, that really likes to compress things, and then you start to lose some of that detail in the lower light situations. That's all I have. Hopefully you found this helpful if you're shopping for 360 cameras. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.